Well, today we are finally finishing up Don't F with Cats. This is episode 3. The title of this episode is called Closing the Net. This is obviously when we're going to finally catch this serial killer and put him behind bars. This guy is a very crazy guy. He is still alive. I googled it. I was curious. He's still alive, and this was pretty recent. So I find it still, although I do know that YouTube went from a private company to like a big whatever mogul company, whatever. I still find it surprising that YouTube allowed a lot of the content that was on YouTube to actually be on YouTube. I find it also surprising, although I do know that we went back and forth when I was saying like you guys can call your local authorities. I find it surprising that local authorities acted the way they did act. I just find a lot of things very surprising. It's not that far where we could say that there was so much of a difference. There was still internet crimes. There was still, how do I know? Because I do know I was actually friends. Actually, wasn't this in 2010? I'm pretty sure if this was around 2010, 2011, 2012, I was new to New York City and I was friends with assistant district attorneys here in Manhattan, and 2 or 3 people that I knew of from them, they worked in internet crime, and their internet crime was stuff like this: bullying online. They would press charges, things, unlawful stuff that was put online. That's what they searched for. That's what the type of crimes they prosecuted. So this would fall right underneath this. This is obviously a murder and torturing of animals, which I know for 100% fact they did. But I guess this also, to tell you the truth, once again, we could argue that this is it was different country. It wasn't the United States, and it was not New York, and different states, different countries, even different states. Listen, different countries have different laws, but even different states have different laws. So I'm speaking from a New Yorker, but clearly this wasn't in New York. So Andres, fall back. Thank you so much. I'm ready to wrap this up, guys. And once I wrap this up, I'm going to jump right back into the Waco the documentary. That there was 2. Somebody did say that there was another Waco back documentary. I think they said it was on Netflix. That was more realistic. It was kind of like, I guess, assuming like more like a Jeffrey Dahmer situation. But we never will know. If I find it, then we'll watch it. Possibly. But I'm ready to jump into this to wrap this show up, which I should have wrapped up a long time ago. And then we're going to be getting back into Waco and wrapping that up because I really want to get back into that show. That show was amazing. And then we'll figure out what else we could do for the true crime sector. I'm going to still look up other things. I'm looking at that roommate killer. I'm looking at a whole bunch of stuff to bring to you guys. I might just honestly just start dropping things, and then we could discuss it as we go instead of doing polls, because at this point there isn't a big true crime documentary. If you guys want to suggest it, you guys can go down below. But there's some true crime stuff that I was really looking forward to like looking into. So I might just jump into that after Waco. So we never know. We never know with Andres. He just finds something and he just jumps right into it. Guys, I'm ready to jump into this. This will be a full reaction from my entire platform here on the YouTube platform, as well as my other platform, Patreon. So guys, please sign up to one of those platforms and help support the channel today. Without further ado, let's jump into Don't with Cats, meow, and find out exactly what this show has got to give.
Issued an arrest warrant for Luca Rocco Magnota.
A human torso inside a suitcase left.
Piñata may have filmed the killing and dismemberment of his victim.
This is world news. This is red alert, top wanted news.
He was clearly someone who wanted this bizarre form of notoriety.
This is exactly what Luca wants. He wants to be known as some famous killer. He had made it known that he had planned to make multiple movies. He didn't say one movie.
He did it once, he did it twice, and he did it a 3rd time. So I was sincerely expecting 2 more videos.
Might even disguise himself as a woman.
Luca wanted to be known. He just didn't want to get caught.
Twisted mind was ignored by police.
The animal activists, in my opinion, they're a disgrace. And you're also acting like stalkers. Put this picture and matched it up with this headlight, this street lamp from this certain location. High school children using the internet to destroy somebody. There's someone else responsible here.
So she's a fucking lunatic as well.
We contacted the Montreal airport. He's wearing a black t-shirt, short sleeve t-shirt with a Mickey Mouse on it. Eventually, we see a person walking around in the airport, always doing and placing his hair. And eventually, Mickey Mouse. Mr. Magnotta has a ticket to Paris, France. Immediately, we contacted the French authority with striking him that he would repeat the same thing and kill somebody else.
Where's he get all this money from? What?
La brigade entière a été mobilisée entre... Il prend contact avec un taxi et il cherche ses affaires et...
Okay, he's at some place.
Il est réservé au nom de Luca Rocco Magnotta pour une nuit.
Rocco Magnotta, a 29-year-old Canadian whose job resume includes acting.
We're not boots on the ground. We're not going to be able to go into hotels and look around and whatnot. Clearly, he wants to get away with this. We also know very well is that he likes the chase. Catch Me If You Can, that guy evaded the FBI agent the whole movie. One of the things Luca does, though, is he leaves his breadcrumbs. One that we found was like super significant.
Luca had made a blog post talking about Luca Magnotta, how to disappear and never be found.
Cut off all your friends, don't talk to mom. Step 3, acquire false identification. Get a fake passport, a fake driver's license, internet villain if nobody's chasing you.
Attribué à Luca Rocco Magnotta pour faire un retrait au niveau du distributeur. On vérifie quand même l'exploitation des images de vidéosurveillance. Et ça, c'est important pour nous. Ça confirme qu'il est toujours à Paris. Que Luca Magnotta aime ce secteur, en tout cas a aimé faire la prostitution. À ce moment-là, moi, j'ai demandé à mon équipe et on a renforcé mon équipe et on a fait tous les hôtels du quartier. Donc une fois qu'on a mis fin à ces recherches, chacun rentre chez soi, la télé, et je tombe sur les chaînes d'information continue.
D'un sordide assassinat à Montréal. La semaine dernière, il serait désormais en France.
De travailler dans l'ombre, la brigade des fugitifs, parce que nos dossiers ne sont pas forcément médiatisés.
Luca Rocco Magnotta, Luca Rocco Magnotta, Luca Rocco.
La médiatisation, elle engendre aussi le fait que, du coup, beaucoup de personnes, ça peut avoir son avantage.
Il aurait été vu ces derniers jours dans...
Ça a aussi son inconvénient parce que du coup, on a beaucoup de vérifications.
Surnomme d'ores et déjà le dépeceur de Montréal.
We've now also learned that Magnotta's family lives in Peterborough, Ontario.
Now we're standing right in front of Magnotta's mother's house. Her name's Anna Yurkin.
They were on the street. They were on my porch. They were yelling and asking me for comments.
Committed the cat killings and then graduated to the murder was because he was after notoriety.
This is not who you should be looking for. It's the puppet master you should be looking for.
1 year for my birthday, Luca had these custom made for me. His old keychain, little Basic Instinct movie poster.
Luca always loved movies, and as he got older, he was bullied nonstop, making his self-worth just diminish every day. So he would sit in the living room on his own, watching movies. James Dean, Jean Harlow, Marlene Dietrich. So when he was 16, he moved to Toronto.
I think I would be a great candidate for this position.
But he didn't make it in acting. Then I believe that's when he started escorting. He was bisexual and he was making an awful lot of money.
Man, boy.
The clientele he was seeing were becoming more of a darker, elusive crowd. This sounds like it's getting a little dangerous here. A client by the name of Manny. Manny Lopez. Luca told me, Manny would follow him. He was a stalker, continuously say, I have connections. You'll do what I say. Rumors started to circulate around family members that there was a video on the internet murdering a cat. resembled my son. So I called him up. I was forced to do it. Manny was selling videos of animals being tortured or murdered on the deep web. Please go back and look at the end of the video. In the video, I saw someone else. The hands of Manny. And he said, if you go to the police, I'm severing all ties.
A year and a half before the murder, get this phone call from a man insistent that he had to see me right away. One of the first things he said to me was, you kind of look like Michael Douglas. And
you get that a lot, do you?
And I said, well, what's happening? And he said, look, I'm accused of killing a cat. Oh, he was forced to do it by this person. He said that Manny is always there. Manny is torturing him. An email from Luca, the title of which is List of Abuse from Manny. Forced me to eat animal parts. Bought worms and made me eat them. I mean, it just was mind-boggling, this list. Then I received a picture of Luca. Apparently, after suffering some injury, received a phone call from the Miami Beach Police Department. Apparently, he was drugged, kidnapped from New York, brought down to Miami. There was corroboration of the abuse that Luca was talking about with regard to Manny. Heard that Luca was the suspect in this horrible, sadistic murder that I knew. Vulnerable, timid, so could have committed it alone.
Dans les signalements qui nous ont été communiqués, il sort du lot et il précise que la personne qui s'est présentée chez lui lui a précisé qu'il avait séjourné dans l'O10, n'avait pas été mes médias et je le convoque immédiatement à mon service.
Premier contact par écrit via le site internet de Planète Roméo. Disons, c'est Luc, je suis arrivé à Paris, est-ce qu'on peut se voir? Il est rentré, courtoise, polie, quand moi j'ai dormi. Et lui a dormi dans le canapé. De l'action sexuelle. Voilà.
La nuit chez Jean-Christophe, 2 jours après avoir commis son acte violent.
Toutes les informations qu'il m'avait données, l'hôtel où il était descendu, un numéro de téléphone qu'il avait utilisé.
Important, il nous communique la ligne téléphonique avec laquelle Magnotta l'a couvert, que le téléphone, il avait été acheté, fait tous les hôtels qui étaient autour du port de Bagnolet. Un hôtel qui correspond plus à une personne se cacher ou se mettre au vert pour 8 ou 9 nuits et qu'il a payé en espèces, en cash. Donc il progresse, toujours à l'esprit que peut-être que Magnotta se trouve derrière la porte. Dans la chambre, on découvre le t-shirt qu'il portait à son arrivée. Malheureusement, Magnotta est pas présent. Il fait un trait sur cette identité de Magnotta. Qu'il est parti. En fait, la réservation, elle n'a pas été faite au nom de Luca Rocco Magnotta, mais au nom de Kirk Trammell. Il peut être partout.
6 missed calls. I had 37 unread messages. Body.
Get to the point, body.
And John Green had posted a video. And I'm thinking to myself, what the fuck is this?
Das Wetter. 8 Uhr bin ich im Laden, jetzt im Telecafé in Neukölln, Berlin. Üblich meine Zeitungs gelesen, Tagen davor habe ich einen Bericht über ihn gelesen, dass er seine Liebhaber, wie kann ein Mensch so brutal sein, so brutal werden? Und auf einmal steht er vor mir, schockt. Aber er kam rein ganz höflich, hatte mit französischen Akzent mich gefragt, Sir, Internet. Ich habe gesagt, okay, kommen Sie mal bitte mit. Hier bei dem 25, hier saß er, in der Rücken zu mir, damit ich ihn von ihm beobachten kann, was er so macht.
I was training 8 police cadets in my van, helping all the other police cars doing accidents or small things.
Ganz sicher, ob der das war, dann denkt man nicht, das hier ist der Mörder. Mit einmal genommen, ob ich hier sauber mache, mich gewissern, was er so treibt im Internet, sind seine Fahndungsfotos nachgeschaut hat. Ja, da war mir klar, das ist er.
All of a sudden, I saw a man rushing out of the road from that internet cafe.
All of a sudden, the most badass German fucking police department walks in. 10 of them in these awesome little berets and shit. It was dope. And he's got nowhere to go. You see him come into frame and he's got handcuffs. Bill was caught in an internet cafe because he couldn't stay away from his vanity.
No air company wanted to be associated to Mr. Magnotta. Canadian Army Force for one of their planes.
Simply no way that this suspect could be put on a commercial flight where others might recognize his face.
Yeah, these internet people are really creepy though.
We're literally tracking the flight across the Atlantic.
He's crazy.
Luca Rocco Magnotta.
Oh, that's the moment we've been waiting 2 years for.
I swear I have goosebumps thinking about it. It's just fucking awesome.
I thought that I saw Mr. Magnotta grinning. Like,
crazy.
I think I achieved what I wanted. Celebrity. This was unbelievable. A real circus. Media circus.
Arrested by police at an internet
will eventually face Canada's justice system.
This is a huge game for him. He intentionally misdirected us for almost 2 years.
Why do you need so many people to transport my son? You know, he's a young boy.
And a murderer, girl, shut up.
And he looked so confused and scared. Was he afraid of Manny?
She's weird.
How you doing? I'm looking at him. He's not looking at me. He's looking mostly downwards towards the table. It was very meek, very quiet. Is it because you're shy of me? Or? Didn't want to know if it was him. We knew it was him. What we wanted to know was why. Why this happened.
Why you're here today is because something went wrong. Is it because you're scared or?
I just want to remain silent.
This today is maybe one of the most important days of your life. Listen to me.
Is it possible that I can get a sweater or something?
A sweater? Do you have another sweater with you?
I was watching the interview in another room. He's so tiny. He's so small. He's so fragile. He looked vulnerable. And he's like a little puppy.
Normal. I know that, you cried on the plane. So that there's something in you that's working. Sometimes in life, things don't work out exactly the way we planned them out. Life is full of deception.
Can I have a cigarette?
A cigarette?
Please.
Okay, what's important for me just right now at this moment is the family. This is a picture I was able to get. What's wrong?
Oh, he put on his lap.
You don't want it. What you wanted to accomplish, Luca, well, you succeeded. Everybody knows Luca Magnotta. Maybe, I don't know, maybe something happened and it pushed you to do what happened. How do you feel right now inside? Are you worried about something? You must have a feeling. Do you understand?
I feel tired.
Yes, well, that's understandable.
Hello? Somebody help me, please. Hello, I need help. I need help.
Try and help the court determine whether or not he could be found not criminally responsible for his crime. That he hadn't done this alone, and that there was another individual involved, an individual by the name of Manny. Manny had been the one to incite Mr. Magnotta to kill Mr. Lynn. Manny character, is he just making this up to try and excuse his behavior? Complained to many other people many years ago, called family members. I called lawyers that he'd had contact. I'd talked about this individual Manny many years before. That suddenly made it like it was real.
Where's Manny?
I made the trip up to Montreal to the detention center. My heart sank. I thought, oh, there he is, there he is. I said, I love you so much. I love you, I love you. And he said, I love you too. He told me that him and Jeanlyn had met on Craigslist and they were both hooking up for casual sex, one night stand. Manny knew that he was going to see a man that night. Yeah, it's no big deal. We'll just videotape us having sex. We're only having sex. Son and I never spoke about the actual incident, but I was told that it was under Manny's direction. He was repeatedly phoning and giving him orders. You know what I can do to you? Did as he was told.
I mean, Never
and
seen
then
Manny.
the snuff video goes into Manny's hands. This was definitely being orchestrated by Emmanuel Manny Lopez.
Degree murder trial of Luca Magnotta begins today in Montreal.
We're, as a group, watching this all unfold. We find out that he was being analyzed by psychiatrists. We started to wonder, is Luca gonna get away with it? I've been under the spell of this unknown Manny person.
Okay, so let me tell you who Manny is. This list of known aliases that he liked to use, and Kurt Trammell.
Luca uses an alias when he makes a post. That's important. So one of our group members looks up the name Kay Trammell. Movie Basic Instinct is called Catherine Trammell. Kay Trammell.
Sharon Stone and Michael Douglas.
So we were like, oh, why don't we go look at that movie?
Catherine Trammell is on top of her boyfriend, a stained glass window. It's center frame.
It looks exactly like the murder video.
Luca straddles this man on the bed.
And above him,
the Casablanca poster, center frame.
Luca's making an homage to Basic Instinct.
Basic Instinct movie poster. He liked Basic Instinct.
Driver. It was painted, modified to look like a nice pic.
Killing isn't like smoking. You can fit.
I have a cigarette.
Sharon Stone's character has an abusive ex-boyfriend.
Any best guess? Any best guess?
Manny.
Manny character is Luca's bullshit alibi. Luca lives in a world where pop culture is king and fame is king.
Went back to remembering where he said, did anyone ever tell you you look like Michael Douglas?
He was playing a movie, and he was the star. That night, Mr. Magnotta did not receive or did not do any phone call.
Possible defense a year and a half before the actual murder is absolutely psychotic and brilliant at the same time.
Lopez.
The whole world knows what he looks like.
Nobody has ever remembered Julian. Doesn't seem fair at all to my friend. Luca Magnotta didn't just kill the person, but also destroyed the entire family's home. I understand in the Chinese culture, it's always the son that carries the responsibility to take care of the parents. Now it's gone. It's not fair.
I didn't actually meet John Green in person until after the murder and trial. How's it going?
It's going pretty good. How about yourself?
Good. No, I'll never forget it. Every time that memory pops up on my Facebook, I'm like, share again. I might have actually given up without you.
I'm sure you would have.
One of the things that still bothers me about this time in my life, were we complicit in Luca's crimes? If you don't like the reflection, don't look in the mirror. I don't care. When we look at ourselves in the mirror, are we proud of ourselves? Maybe I did exactly what Luca wanted.
Do we really want to do this? Do we really want to give him more airtime?
We feed his narcissism to the point where he had to go forward. Did we feed the monster or did we create it? You at home watching a whole fucking documentary about Luca Magnotta. Perhaps it's time we turned off the machine.
Well, okay, we're finally done. I actually started crying at the end just because I saw the parents, and at the funeral you get to see, the father kind of cry. And I know because I have a handful of Chinese friends that their family, at least the ones I know, are super strict. They don't really show emotion, just like kind of what you saw there. It just like nobody really was crying, like they were holding it in and trying to be strong. That's literally how it was, or it is with their culture. I want to say that. I'll say for my friends, every single last one of them. That's just how they are. But anyways, moving forward. So Luca Magnotta was crazy as hell. It's really crazy. His mother seems like she's crazy as hell. The child is literally the product of their environment. The mom looks like she is like cuckoo. She might have never like killed anybody, but she definitely, I feel, well, I can't even put this on her, but she seems like she's not, you know, clearly older, or maybe she's just a little weird. I don't know. She gives me creepy vibes. And then her justification for her son being the way he is like, oh, people picked on him, called him a fag. I'm so over, like, I don't want to say that, but, you know, every time I want to say something, I always rebut myself now that, like, you know, I'm trying to think of the bigger picture. But when I was growing up, people called me, even when I was obviously not out the closet, I never was really picked on, but I did have moments in my life where people were saying, you know, faggot, da, da, da. But I guess if you're like stronger, you could like withstand it and just grow from it. And at this point, when somebody says those words, I'm like, can you tell me something that I'm not? I know I'm gay. Like, you telling me all this stuff that I already know. You have big lips. I know that too. Like, you know what I mean? Like, people don't really bother me, but that's not everybody. So maybe this really did affect him as a child. But I feel like then it's a parent's responsibility to see how their child is and then take those proper steps to bring them to counseling or talk to them. Or if you start seeing your child start becoming a hermit and trying to exclude the world, so maybe take your child out. Like, I don't know. I don't have a kid, so I don't know how the process and steps are or like what you would do. But I just feel like, I don't know. I just wouldn't watch my child just like, I don't know. And then this lady, she's just is so convinced that Manny did it. And Manny was a made-up person, like from a movie that you're just with the keychain and all. Like, that lady is weird. But the person who I think is the weirdest and creepiest person in this whole documentary, besides Luca Magnotta, I hate that name, is this guy with the glasses. The whole series, the documentary, we could have done without him. Paul Green, he gives me creepy crawler vibes. It's so weird. Like, not only so he did all the stuff to find Luca, right? So congratulations, you did really well. But then, like, even when they were arrested, like, you knew how to find this camera, like, that was just running at some random cafe. You then watched the plane and how the plane was moving, a military plane you were following. Like, I don't know, like, you seem like you should be watched by the FBI, because you seem like you got some, unless that's like his job. And I don't think that's his like actual, is that his job? Like, does he do stuff with the internet? So weird. It's so creepy. It gives me such creepy vibes. I think, and then how he was talking and stuff, I was so creeped out by him. But he's not the star of this damn show. The star of that who wants to be is Luca Magnotta. He was fucking crazy too. Like, you could tell the man was crazy by the wig choices, by his body movements, by the way he talks, by just his really thin eyebrows that like, I had thin eyebrows too. But he just was a creepy crawler. You could tell he was a creepy crawler. You could tell something was wrong with him. Like, he's a creep. And it's just so weird that everybody's like, he doesn't look like a killer. Well, what the fuck does, excuse my language, what the hell does a creeper look like to you? What, they supposed to have a dot to your eye or underneath their eyebrow and walk around with gang signs? Are they supposed, like, what to you guys does a murderer look like? Can you please let me know? Like, that was so irritating when they were saying that. He's so polite. Yeah, well, he has no effing choice. Like, he's literally a loony bin. Hello, he's arrested. And he's a loony bin. He had all this money to travel all around the world. He's literally from Canada to this. Then he went to Paris, Berlin. Man was weird. And you had all this money, sir, and your mom had to call you through Skype, and your mom looking like she lives in not a very prestige place in Canada. So maybe that's another problem, sir, Luca. But anyway, so Luca's in jail in Canada somewhere. I guess he's going to be spending the rest of his life in prison. I guess he's not going to be really excited for that. But yeah, he's trash. I really like the lady, though. The lady narrator. Is that narrator? That's not the word. The lady. I like the lady with the red hair. I think she was so blunt, and like, I could have just done with her telling the whole story and getting that view like we didn't need every single person behind the scenes, but I guess it was him and her were the major two. But if I just followed her and let her narrate this show for me, and then with everything else, I've been fine. But they chose to add in this Paul Green, and it kind of was getting me irritated. But anyways, so now we wrapped up this show finally. During me filming this, for some reason it wasn't showing me like what the French guy was saying in the beginning, and so like I was like, well, what is he saying? And then I got it to work, and then it just kept freezing. I was like, I'm so happy I'm over this documentary. It was a very interesting documentary, but we are finally done, and now I can go back to Waco. So anyways, guys, please like this video, please share this video, don't forget to comment down below, and suggest new documentaries, and I can look into that as well. And I'll see you guys next time with more true crime.